Hello, welcome to Rough Cut Film Review. This is a review of the recent Paul Thomas Anderson film, The Master. Before I saw this, people have been talking about this as one of the finest films of 2012. People call it The Buzz, or at least I think they do, or maybe that's people trying to trick me. Anyway, so Paul Thomas Anderson, what's he made previously? So he's got an absolutely fantastic CV. He made There Will Be Blood, Punch Drunk Love, Magnolia, Boogie Nights, and it really is he's a filmmaker to get excited about. The style and tone of his films is always really interesting, and again it's very interesting in The Master. The Master stars Phillip Seymour Hoffman, a sort of long-time collaborator, Joaquin Phoenix and Amy Adams. So we start off here. Phoenix's character Freddie, who we kick off at the end of the Second World War. He's discharged from the US Navy with post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, that made sense. He was serving in the Pacific Theatre, and we can only imagine that bad stuff happened. Once he's out, he takes a job as a photographer in a department store. Now, we quickly establish that he's a deeply unhappy individual who's sort of self-medicating himself with alcohol, which he never seems to actually enjoy. His demons he actually gets involved with what turns out to be a 16-year-old girl who's very keen on him. Quite quickly, his demons sort of rise up and he's forced to flee. From there, things go sort of downhill, so he becomes an agricultural worker. But again, things don't work out in his favour, and he has to move on, with an element of bad stuff happening. From here on, he tries to stow away on a commercial ship, and quickly he's caught, and he meets the owner of the ship, who's Phillip Seymour Hoffman's character, who pretty much instantly takes a shine to him, and the film moves on from there. So Hoffman's character is clearly based on L. Ron Hubbard, who's the founder of Scientology, that very odd religion in inverted commas that has one of the tenets basically give us your money and we'll tell you the secrets of our religion. So as you can tell, I'm not a fan. Joaquin Phoenix and Phillip Seymour Hoffman both put in Oscar-winning performances in this film. They're absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure how it'd stack up, whether they both be best male lead. I think they both get an awful lot of screen time. Would one of them be best supporting cast? I'm not sure. I don't know how that would stick. How that would stack up. Worth noting as well that Amy Adams she's also brilliant, and she's very quickly become one of my favourite actresses, and someone who's just going from strength to strength. She's absolutely fantastic. Now, the film is really, really well directed, really well made. The acting is almost universally brilliant, with a couple, Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix, being truly exceptional, and really are performances of the year. However, there is a flaw with this film, and for me it's a big one, and it's sort of quite a general, all-encompassing flaw of vagueness. It's vague about the religious cult. It's vague about the two men's relationship. Is it homoerotic? It's vague about that. It's vague about its own intentions as well, which is probably the most troubling thing. Where does it stand on any of these themes? So it's bringing these things up, but then what's it doing? Paul Thomas Anderson is so clearly putting L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology up there on the screen, but then it's not actually saying anything about them. It's really, it's brilliantly made, really clever, understated, all these things, and the acting is superb, as I've said. I just feel that if there was a little more sort of narrative drive there, if there was a point this film was trying to make. I think what he's trying to do is almost, the ambiguity is what he was going for there. There's sort of, in terms of many things, but if he actually had a central point and a central reason to be using Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, and all this kind of thing, I think the film would have gone from being very good to being exceptional. But unfortunately for me, it doesn't make that jump from just being a very, very well-made film to being a great film. So, kind regards, Christopher Thomas.